Welcome to the Lead with Your Soul podcast. I'm Michelle Wright, your host and fellow traveler on this journey of self-discovery. This podcast is designed for women navigating life transitions and yearning to embrace their true selves. I'll be sharing my personal journey from navigating the complexities of divorce and blending families to reshaping my career to something that resonates with my soul. With 3 decades as a teacher and mentor, I'm here to share insights, heartfelt stories, and practical strategies. Together, we'll explore how to cultivate self-love and create the vibrant, fulfilling life you deserve. Join me each week as we dive deep into the art of living authentically. Welcome to the Lead with Your Soul podcast. I'm Michelle Wright, your host, and I'm so glad you're here. And we have a wonderful friend and guest here today to share her wisdom and insight with us, Kathy Kearns. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. It's good to see you and hear you.
It's good. It's so good to see you and hear you. Just to give a bit of context for my listeners, Kathy and I have been roommates at the last 2 Sacred Spirit retreats in BC, and it's just been beautiful to get to know each other in such a beautiful space as well within the Spirit School community. It was just really neat, though, in those retreats to connect.
Yeah, it was a perfect pairing.
It certainly was. It certainly was. And you have taught me so much. And just in our brief conversations that we had late at night where we'd have to say, okay, that's it. No more talking. We're doing one more word. But before we start that, I just would love to tell us a bit about yourself. Like, where are you? What is it that you do? And how did you come to this wonderful world of woo-woo?
Wonderful world of woo-woo. I love that. So I'm located in Boise, Idaho, in the United States. I have a business that's called Reiki Renewal. I do Reiki. I do Theta Healing. I do psychic medium readings. I also teach people how to do Reiki, so I offer all levels. I also teach Theta Healing, and I'm now working with developing mediums. So a little bit of everything.
Yes. And I have had the privilege of having one of your Theta Healing sessions, which was absolutely mind-blowing. I can remember having the Theta Healing session and just feeling like a black inkness kind of disappearing away, which was amazing. And I took your first level of Theta Healing course and just really enjoyed that modality. And just how to work with it and begin to work with different clients. I'm just a beginner at it. Tell us a bit about Theta Healing.
Sure. So Theta Healing is working with someone in a theta brainwave state, working with their subconscious to identify and shift beliefs that may be holding them back. The only job your subconscious has is to keep you safe. And sometimes it acquires beliefs that may not have been true or ones that you have outgrown. And it becomes a point of, if whatever you want in life, if it's not in alignment with your subconscious, you're going to self-sabotage and not understand why.
Yeah. And I think that's that powerful thing. It's unconscious and we don't recognize it's there. And that's the beauty of Theta Healing is it helps release those points.
And then always have a more productive belief system introduced as well. So that's wonderful.
Yes, it is. And replacing it and helping you replace it with that more productive. Yes. And because you do a lot of teaching, so I see that when you have teaching in person and you also teach online, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. And just because you are also a fellow teacher, you should other teachers out there. Because when you were in the teaching of children era of your life, who did you teach? What grade?
I taught kindergarten through 6 sometime during my career.
Okay. So you bring all of those skills of just knowing how to teach and how to work with different people. into your classes. And we can see your beautiful business right behind you, can't we?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I'm at my office today. Yes.
Yeah, it just looks so good. Part of what I wanted to do is just understand. I know when we've talked, you described for you your introduction into connecting with the spirit world. And actually, for you, it just has always been there, hasn't it?
It has always been there, and it's something that was actively discouraged growing up, where my family did not entertain it and were not very kind in how they put that through. But it's something that it took a long time to get to a point where I am comfortable and saying, "Yes, this is what I can do, and I'm willing to offer it."
Because you talk about when you were younger, you would actually see spirits, wouldn't you? And feel them. What did that look like and feel like for you?
It was scary because I didn't understand. I didn't have anyone to walk with me to help explain. And so my earliest memory is seeing angels. Next memory I have of there was an old woman and a tiger that was in my bedroom at night and would come very several times. And I didn't realize until I started learning some shamanism, that it was the spirit guide that was there in my totem animal. But it would have been nice to have someone there to walk me through that so I didn't have that fear growing up.
Right. No, and I didn't have that experience, but for you, I can really see that. And do you, as you're teaching people about mediumship or even connecting with Reiki or just energy in Theta as well, do you find that different people come in with kind of similar stories like that and you're able to help them navigate some of that?
Oh, absolutely. I have people that come in and they usually say, "Now, I don't want you to think that I'm crazy," or "I didn't imagine this, but I feel like I can talk to you about it." And
Yeah.
I hear a lot of different experiences, and I can see why they have that fear.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I was just working with someone the other day, and that's where they kept on saying, "Okay, don't think this is weird. Don't think this is weird." And I'm going, you know what? I've been, I guess, with a lot of weird people in the sense of it now is
Right.
norm, right? Like it putting yourself in situations in spirit school, there's a lot of connections that way, where actually it's very normal to explore these parts of us. So you don't think it's weird anymore. You just think it's really interesting.
I say, you'd have to really surprise me. I have heard a lot. Trust me, you're not gonna scare me or make me think that you're strange.
Yes. Now, some people talk about closing off from that young age and just saying it was challenging and difficult because they weren't getting supported in the development. Did you find that there was a closing off and then an opening up?
I didn't know that's even a possibility.
Okay.
So I just know that I suffer from what I always called word vomit. And that's when I would get those messages and I would say something, then go, "Oh, did I say that out loud? How was that received?"
And was it a message for someone you were getting?
Yeah.
Does it feel different if it's from an angel, from a spirit guide, from a loved one in spirit? Is there a difference? Does it feel different for you?
It does feel very different. And maybe it's because I've been doing Reiki for so long. It's more of a vibration.
Right.
It's higher vibration for me when I am connecting with angels. Definitely has a lot of peace and love as the undertones to that energy. When I'm working with guides, they always have their energies just a little different. They have personality, they have opinions about things, and they're not quite as reserved as angels in sharing their opinion. And loved ones, how would you describe that? It's just the way that they come in and transfer that energy, those messages to me, a
So
loved one.
okay. So it's might come in with the energy of whatever kind of personality or they had in life, that kind of thing. So you might have, I don't know, maybe if a grandmother in spirit was really happy, they'd have happy energy, or it might be a crunchy energy because they were grumpy.
Or even when as they come in, because I can see them and I can hear them. Sometimes if they were shy in life when they were alive, they're gonna come in rather reserved when they're giving me a message.
Okay. Okay, so you have to perhaps dig a little deeper or yeah, dig deeper or like you say, reserved. You have to ask more questions perhaps. Yeah.
And seeing them, like, where are they standing? How are they standing? What's their body language look like?
Because you actually see the actual spirit.
I do often. Not always, but often I do.
And are they so first of all, I find that very interesting. I have never seen the spirit, and I think part of it there was a negotiation in the beginning of getting into mediumship. That was the one thing that terrified me was this idea of ghosts and being scared from them. So I think I'm like, okay, not yet. I'm not yet ready to see you because then I might freak out. So I can feel them. I don't know why feeling them is easier, but for me it is. So describe what one might look like. What does it look like when you see them?
They come in different ways. So it can be like an energy field that's around them, wave coming off a hot road in the distance where you see the energy
Okay.
print. Sometimes they look transparent. Sometimes they look solid. It just
Okay.
depends. I think it depends on what my energy is like. I think it depends on what their energy is like coming in.
Okay. And do you ever feel worried or scared?
Just in general.
And now
Or
when you're sass girl, when you're working or when you see the spirits, does it alarm you?
no, it was surprising when I started to realize what it was. But I talked with my aunt, and when she found out that I could do this, because she is a psychic medium as well, and she was not happy. She has a Southern accent, and she was like 80 something when I talked to her. And she just said, oh, because she didn't want it passed along. And what she told me helped me a great deal. She said, I want you to remember that they are just people without their bodies. You would not let someone, a stranger, walk in your house, have them turn the TV on or off or move furniture without getting after them. You do the same with spirits.
Yeah. So it's almost like you have, when I say rules, or you have expectation with the spirit world of how they can interact in your space with you and even your loved ones.
Absolutely. I think you should be able to control the energy that comes and goes out of your own space.
Yes, very true. And was there a time when you didn't, and then you would have things happen? Like people speak about getting woken up in the middle of the night or just being surprised by things. Is that some stuff like that happened?
Oh, yeah, some stuff like that happened. My husband brought the first ghost home, and that had been in our house when I started to realize where boundaries can go and that. And I used to get a cup of tea at night before I go to bed so I could read. And I go in the kitchen and I can feel something staring at me when something's watching you, right? So I go back and it was just creeping me out. So I went back to my husband and I said, hey, will you come with me? I make a cup of tea. I'm just feeling really uncomfortable in the kitchen. And he rolled his eyes. He goes, are you serious? And I said, yeah, I'm pretty serious. And so he goes in there. He starts to get creeped out too. He goes, are you done yet? I finished up. We were walking back, and the ghost grabbed him on the shoulder. And he felt every cold bone in that hand, and it freaked him out. But he said, I'm glad that it did that because I wasn't sure what was going on with you
Okay.
until he had some evidence that he believed. It's not just going to take my word for it. So that was the first time that a ghost had come in our house that I hadn't put boundaries up. And then it was the same ghost that would wake me up in the middle of the night. It would be staring at me while I slept. And then I opened my eyes and look at it. He was just as surprised that I could see him, and he would run. We've had a few stories.
But I can only imagine your husband and yourself to actually have someone grab your shoulder. I would have been like, I'm just imagining myself just screaming and running away, just like the ghost. So how did you come to not do that? Like, how did you know they were just here to chat or here to connect?
It was the school of hard knocks. We had we used to call them guests, so it didn't scare my children. We have another guest in the house, and just a lot of practice and learning how to do that.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to break it down for someone.
So it's just recognizing different experiences. So you, in some ways, in your house, it was very different. The idea of energy, the idea of spirits being present, you talked about it. And you, through the school of hard knocks, just explored how to make it safe and nurturing for everyone in your home. Is that true?
That's true. How do you keep your family safe from things that most people can't see or feel or even believe that they exist?
So you just talked about it openly and really worked on that.
I did. And for a long time, at the beginning, I thought maybe I am losing it, which is usually something people say, right? And so we were sitting and watching TV, and this thing went across our wall. And I asked my girls, did anyone else see that? And they go, yeah, I just saw that. My other one goes, yeah, I saw that. And my husband goes, see what? I go, okay. So I'm not going crazy because we can't all hallucinate the same thing at the same time. And
Okay.
so that was a starting point for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Sharing those experiences. And now, is it through that that you got into Reiki? Like, how did you end up getting the call to Reiki and healing?
I was told that the best way to understand energy is to learn about Reiki
Okay.
and how it exchanges and how it moves and how it interacts with people. And that was really good advice. Absolutely. Also has a way of opening you up more psychically as well.
And because I think that is actually a gateway for many people into energy work, is it not? Is through Reiki.
I agree because it really blends well with other professions, anyone that works with the public. And it's something that is easily accessible, more accessible than it used to be, more accepted
Right.
too.
Yes, it is. For you, when you're doing the healing, because you do healing through Reiki, you actually do lots of things through Reiki, don't you?
I do healings through Reiki, yes.
Maybe talk a little bit about Reiki, just for someone who might not know it
Sure.
or, yeah, what it is.
So Reiki is a channeled energy. It's a connecting with the universal energy in order to check chakras. You have over 180 chakras in your body, and most people just identify or think that they only have 7. Those are the major chakras. Each one of those is influenced by emotional state, major body organ, major body system. And so if you were developing an illness, it would show up in your energetic body long before it would show up physically. So the idea is to keep cleared and balanced through your chakras to keep you healthy as long as possible.
When you're doing the teachings, do you have some people that feel that energy right away? Do some people, it's through time they feel it? Like, how do people, as you're teaching them, experience this energy?
Usually they will feel it they'll feel it during the first class.
Okay.
And then the energy just continues to build and becomes more intense the more you use it. The more times you connect with it, the faster the connection and the stronger the connection will be.
Okay. Like that idea of a muscle, right? Working a muscle. The more you use your energy muscle and connection. So when you're doing Reiki on someone, can you feel where they are energetically off? Is it, do you feel it in your own body or do you have a picture on a wall almost? Which way do you?
Actually, neither one of those. For me, when I do Reiki, wherever I feel heat tells me I just need to stay there longer because the energy's not moving the way that it should.
Okay. So you feel heat. And the idea of Reiki is that you are not doing the healing, you are channeling the healing. And that's an important difference, isn't it?
Absolutely. I made the mistake when I was first learning to use my energy because I really wanted to do really well for a friend. And I ended up giving my energy away by mistake. And I was in bed for the next 2 days. I was so exhausted. Where channeling, you're not giving yours away. If anything, you're receiving some of that Reiki. So it's a lot like a hug. You can't give a hug without receiving a hug. Same with Reiki. You can't share Reiki without receiving Reiki yourself.
Okay. An idea is just coming in that I just want to ask. Can you use that idea of Reiki even for yourself? Let's say people are very sensitive or empathic in different situations. Can you channel energy so that you're not using your own energy to connect with everybody else?
Are you I need more clarification on that question. Are you talking about any situation or like going in like a busy store or a big crowd or
A big crowd or a busy store?
a busy store? Yeah, we talk about how to protect our energy using
Okay.
Reiki so that you're not bombarded with everyone else's energy.
Right. So it's creating a protection through
Right.
Reiki. Now, when I look, you have different types of Reiki you teach. Like there's Reiki, there's Holy Fire Reiki. What are some of the similarities and some of the differences?
Okay, that's a great question. A Sui Reiki is where everyone usually or used to start with, right? Because that's the traditional Reiki. And the information, there's 3 levels. So Reiki 1 and Reiki 2, the information is exactly the same as doing Holy Fire. Because that's usually the question I get. What's the difference between a Sui and a Holy Fire? The difference becomes more important when you get to be a master level, which is level 3. Okay. You learn some different techniques in order to move the energy and how to share the energy between a teacher and a student. With a SUI, there was always an attunement, which is how to pass the way that you would pass energy from the teacher to the student, but everyone received the same attunement, meaning everyone received the same process or the same energy in order to connect theirs with the universal energy. With Holy Fire Flame actually does that, not the teacher. And so it's individualized for what each person needs in order to help them heal so that they can be a better channel. It's really interesting. I was very skeptic because I thought, oh, yeah, I'll try it and see. And by the third ignition at master level, even though the teacher hadn't touched me, and it was a very large room and there was 20 of us, I felt flames going up my back.
Okay.
It was really intense. And I asked the friend that was sitting next to me, could you look to see if my back is sunburned? Because it was such a different experience than the attunements. I find that Holy Fire is a higher vibrational energy and works on a deeper level. The difference between the different energies could be anywhere between the different Reikis, what helpers you call in, to how the information is transferred to you when you get messages, even how the energy moves within the client's body is different.
Okay. Okay. And just like one is like fire, like it moves like fire.
Holy Fire is just a higher vibration and
Okay.
a stronger intensity to it.
Okay. You're a psychic medium, you're Reiki. And so what is the psychic piece? Like when do you have to be doing Reiki to do your psychic work?
No,
Or is it even a complete different thing?
I offer readings. I let them choose what they want because many people don't understand the difference between psychic readings and mediumship.
Okay. Maybe my listeners might not either. So what is the
Okay.
difference?
Okay. So psychic reading is looking at a situation or people that are involved to get a different perspective or projecting out if you continue on this path, what will happen, what the results will be. Okay. A medium talks to dead people. So they would talk to your loved ones.
Okay. Your loved ones in spirit. There's some thinking about if you follow that trajectory, there an underlying assumption that everything is pre-planned or we have choices and then that kind of changes the trajectory. I'm just thinking of a laser point. Like if you move it from here to here, it changes it, right? Where it's going. Is it like that?
It's like that. You always have free will. So if you don't like something that is being shown or you were told, then you have the opportunity to make different choices in order to change the outcome.
Okay. And I know I've come to appreciate in my life, and I work with women who are in these big transitions of life. And I talk about it as this is a liminal space. It's this space actually where either your life has completely fallen apart or just huge parts of it are changing. It can be good changes, but you get to reimagine what you want in the future. And that's where I find it's in these moments, there seems to be more reorganization of our choices of how we want to move forward. Do you find more people might come to you for readings or even Reiki or Theta healing during those times of transitions? Or is it at all times?
I see people in all different situations. I do. I have some that come in and just are curious about the readings and want a psychic reading. When you do mediumship, there should be a need because the connection's clearer. But psychic readings, it's something that I've always been able to do. I remember doing one reading for a gal a few years ago because she was just curious. And she goes, "Was there anything my angels are telling me through you? What do my angels want me to know?" And I said, "They want you to check your outside water faucet." I said, "Does that make any sense to you? Because often the messages aren't for me." And she goes, "We just bought our house." She goes, "Okay, I'll write it down." I saw her 6 months later because I don't do a reading before then. She counted it a second one. She goes, "I want you to know that the week after I had my reading that the pipe broke outside at that connection." And I go, "Oh, okay, that makes more sense."
You say, I got this message about the outdoor pipe. Do you get those same kind of messages for yourself?
I do. Now, do I always follow them? No, but do I regret it when I don't? Yes.
Do you help people also develop that psychic ability, that being able to connect or get messages for the future like that?
I think that comes with Reiki. I have a lot of people that start to develop that once they learn Reiki and they start to trust themselves. I think more people connect into that than they realize the psychic part of because everyone can do it.
Yeah.
The hard part is trusting the information you get and then trusting more and acting on it.
Yes. I would say that's true. That's still, it's not like it's this clear email that you get or,
I always think of it more, I don't know, I'm pretty old. Jiminy Cricket sitting on your shoulder and you're responding to an email that's ticked you off. And it's just that whisper in your ear just before you push send where it goes, "Are you sure you want to send that now?" It's just that gentle whisper. "Are you sure you want to do that?"
well, yes, I love that. That's that gentle nudge, which I think brings up that idea because we have free will. It's a gentle nudge. It's a gentle, there's no one right way to move forward. Like you could push send. It might have lots of conflict, but it's not wrong if you do that. Like
Right.
it's just an experience of life. That's what I think is the thing is that there's lots of choice involved because there's not a bad experience. It's just experiences.
I agree.
Yeah. Although there is, I do see in alignment. So with Reiki, and you're talking about the energy and resonates. And do you feel when you're in alignment Like I feel it like the crystal singing bowls, or I call it like that nice note of resonance. Like you can hear it all come together. And when it's not, it's almost like that, like it's just all dissonant.
Right.
And
Yeah. And I tell my students really go heart centered. Does it resonate within your heart to know whether you're in alignment or not?
yes,
No.
yes,
Because you'll know if it goes, that makes me uncomfortable, or you agree to something and you start procrastinating and getting it done. There's a reason for it, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that idea of going heart centered. And I think in the beginning, people, if they're just starting to explore this part of themselves, it is just putting their hand on their heart. And it can be even but just by the foods you eat or the movies you want to watch or, which path you want to go down. You can start doing this in everyday activities.
Absolutely. Yep. Should I take this street this time going, where I need to go, or should I go this way? Where am I being pulled?
Yeah. Yeah. And not hijacking it. And this is the part I find the hardest with our analytical thinking mind that says, but every time I've gone down this street, it has always been a good choice. But I'm getting this that today I shouldn't, but I'm not going to listen to it because my analytical mind is saying the data on that tells me that's wrong.
And usually that voice is louder than the nudges that you get, right? Yeah. So it's easy to ignore the nudges.
It is. It is. Do you have tricks for helping the nudges become louder?
I have found, at least for me, for those nudges to become louder is to trust and act on what I'm being told.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean like I quit my job, buy a new car, move across the country. I'm not talking like life-changing things like that. You start out small, such as, oh, which way should I go today? Should I take this road or should I take this road for where I'm going? I think the more that you listen, the more that you get, the more information you get. And I can remember a time my guides are kind of snarky, which is fun sometimes. And I had a client come in, a new Reiki client that's male, and I had not ever met him before, and I was gonna be in the building all by myself with him for the first time. And I always run through, am I going to be safe? Not knowing who's coming in. And this was at the beginning. And my guides would say, yes, you're going to be safe. Then I would see images of him restraining women's hands by the wrists. And I check in again. Am I going to be safe? And they go, yes, you're going to be safe. And so I met with him and I find out he's a retired policeman that teaches self-defense now for women. And it's okay. You guys could have been a little bit more forthcoming in that. No, but you need to learn how to trust.
Yes. So the messages are coming in. You can interpret it in different ways.
Absolutely.
And so trusting, they're saying yes and giving you a picture, and you just don't know what that picture is yet.
Right. I just don't have the full picture yet.
Yeah. Yes. Of what it is. Now, I'm just curious because as you're doing your different readings, as you're doing your different work with people, do you find that you know what people need?
And I can do that. I like to talk to my clients at least 15 minutes before we start. And I have on my intake form, what's the reason that brought you here today?
Okay.
And depending on what that answer is going to help me decide what form they need if they don't know.
Okay. Okay. And what kinds of things guide you to which one?
If we have someone that wants to change a behavior or change something in their life, something that they're addicted to or a habit they have, then I'm going to go to Theta.
Okay.
Okay. Because it's something that's built within their belief system. If we're talking about being run down and they're just sluggish in energy or they're feeling some physical pain, I'm going to do Reiki.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a sense. I just want to thank you so much for coming on today and sharing some of your so interesting stories. And I think for me, I find them interesting because that's exactly what it's like. V- Navigating in this world of energy, spirit in different ways. There's just a million ways to walk it. And everybody has a different, unique experience, and they're all valid.
I agree. And how information comes to people is different avenues. Not that one's better than another. It's just learning how to work with how it comes in.
Yeah. With each individual uniquely. Now, for people, if they're listening and they want a reading with you, they want to work with you, they want to connect with you, what are some of the things that you have going on right now and how can they do that?
They can find me at ReikiRenewal.com. We do a Reiki outreach the first Sunday of every month where the public can come in for a free mini session. My students get the practice they need and they can ask as many questions as they want, and it creates a community for my students as well. So it's a low risk for trying for people. I have classes coming up all the time. So I usually do a Reiki class and a Theta class each month. So you'll have to check my website to see what's up next and the dates.
Okay. And if people can't be there in person, they can just connect with you and do it in a different way.
Yes, if we're talking about classes or even a session, I can do remotely as well.
Well, you can do those remotely as well. Okay. I will add all those links in there. I just wanted them to know about how they could connect with you. And I know you have a very active Instagram, right? Where you share out. So that's another way where they can connect with you.
Yep. And Facebook as well.
You know what, Tiffany? I just want to thank you so much for being my roommate and enjoying Sacred Spirit Retreat, as well as being my friend and coming on here and sharing your journey with listening to your own soul and sharing that with everybody else so that we can learn how to tap in for our own highest good.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for asking. And we are quite the pair when we are roomed together, that's for sure. We have a lot of fun together.
We do. We do. So many blessings, Kathy. You take care. That wraps up another episode of the Lead with Your Soul podcast. I'm so grateful you chose to spend this time with me. As you navigate your own life transitions, remember to be gentle with yourself and embrace the journey. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe and share it with others who might benefit. Join me next week for more insights and inspiration. Until next time, keep leading with your soul.